The weather's cleared up, at least it stopped raining.
It's May in Croatia and the sun's come out to play, bringing with it stable winds and crisp clear nights, but few other boats to share it with. We're anchored in a bay overlooking the Wall of Ostrica, which is just south of Šibenik. We've had really quite a lovely day, haven't we?
Big difference from last week.
Our favorite time of year to sail in Croatia, it would have to be May, particularly the end to middle part of May or even early June.
Our week began anchored off Stari Trogir, just west of Trogir along Croatia's Dalmatian coast. But with weather predicted midweek, we head for the safety of the marina.
We stayed in the Marina Biotic here in Trogir last night. The wind was supposed to be a little bit rougher than it actually was, but we did have lots and lots of rain. Today the sun has come out and we got to explore Trogir, which was beautiful and well worth a stop. In good weather, you can anchor outside the town or choose from a number of marinas around Trogir.
With blue skies predicted for the next few days, we're setting out to continue along the coast. First, we're sailing from Trogir to the natural harbour of Vinišće.
Although the sun is out, the temperatures remain cool, and with a light breeze, we still need windbreakers. After a quiet night on anchor, we awake to another bluebird day, and after breakfast, we set sail for another bay further to the north.
I think that our plan to come all the way back to the mainland is paying dividends, because the last couple of days, now that we don't have that far to go, we can just sort of sail up the coast a couple of hours a day, very relaxed, and the weather's turned around and it's sunny and beautiful.
Although the wind is light, we've set short goals this week, allowing us to sail slowly without having to turn on the motor.
Not like the sky, but I like that. The days are starting to lengthen, and the sun is still high in the sky at 6 p.m. as we approach our anchorage in Stari Trogir.
After anchoring, we're treated to a colourful sunset and only a couple of boats to share it with.
We are anchored in Stari Trogir, 2.5 hours north of Trogir on the way towards Primošten and Šibenik. It's absolutely stunning this morning with crystal blue waters, just absolutely breathtaking. Nobody there to share it with, really, just one other little boat.
After exploring the area a bit, it's back to the boat for lunch before pushing onwards north.
So this marks our fourth day of good weather in a row, which is really nice after the ordinary start we had to our sailing trip. But it's also about to come to an abrupt end with storms gathering tonight, winds of up to 40 knots and a bit of rain and lightning. So we're going to head for the cover of the Trapa Marina, which is in Rogoznica. Definitely butchering that one. We'll hunker down there for a couple of days. Hopefully it finds up after that, and we can get moving again toward Primošten, Šibenik, and ultimately Zadar.
Soon we entered the well-protected natural harbor of Rogoznica. The weather hasn't set in yet, so we get a chance to explore the town, which is still sleepy, awaiting the busy tourist season. Eventually, though, the wind does come and we retreat to the boat.
We're in the Marina Frappa in Rogoznica. We've been here for the last couple of days because it's been extremely windy. Eased a little bit today, only blowing about 25 knots, but it should continue through the day. So we're going to stay here. It's Thursday. We're going to take the opportunity to stock up on supplies, and then hopefully we can get out of the marina and spend the whole weekend on anchor, exploring a little bit north toward Primošten and up toward the islands around Šibenik. Hopefully get away early in the morning.
The weather blows itself out overnight and it's calm seas the next day.
I was unceremoniously kicked out of the marina quite early this morning, about 9 or 10, because there was some boats coming in. So I didn't get much of a chance to explain our day, but the weather's cleared up. At least it stopped raining and it stopped blowing quite so hard. Kelly's had to travel to Split today to go see a doctor, but I'm going to take the opportunity of the nice weather window to get the boat just a little further up the way, about 4 or 5 nautical miles just around the corner to Primošten, and then when she's done in Split she can catch a bus back there. We were in Primošten the first time we were in Croatia. Beautiful place, one of our favourite places in Croatia, so we're keen to spend a night or two there and also explore the area between Primošten and Šibenik, which we didn't get to see last time we were here, but which looks really beautiful. So I was hoping to wait a little later in the Arvo when the wind was a little bit better, but obviously that wasn't possible. But it is lovely out here. It's blowing about 10 knots directly from Primošten, so we will tack our way up this morning and should be there around lunchtime. Hopefully it's a nice sail. So today's challenge, today's new trick will be picking up a mooring buoy single-handed. So in Primošten you can't anchor, but there are mooring buoys outside the town. Every other time we've used mooring buoys, there's been at least 2 of us on the boat. So today will be the first opportunity to do it single-handed. I went to the University of YouTube last night. It actually sounds pretty straightforward, but never done it before, so it'll be good to master a new skill. The first step is to secure a long line to the bow and walk the line back to the cockpit. Now you can reverse the stern up to a buoy. Hook your boat to check the hook is working. It is. After missing your first buoy, pick another. There are plenty to choose from this early in the season. Next, try to drop your pole overboard. Having successfully wrangled a buoy, thread your line through the mooring shackle. The buoys at Primošten have a nice tall shackle that comes through the buoy itself. Walk your line back to the bow and secure. Bit windy, but this is nice, huh?
Yeah, very windy. But we're on a mooring buoy just outside of Primošten, so it's quite calm. It's just a bit of a swell coming, but absolutely beautiful place to be for the day. I think we'll stay for another night. It's probably the best little anchorage you can find along this little stretch of coastline. The town is spectacular. We're headed into town to explore Primošten. It's probably the prettiest little village on the Croatian coastline that we've seen. It's absolutely beautiful, and nobody's really here right now, which is quite nice. 2 years ago, Primošten was one of our favorite hidden gems we uncovered, but it's definitely a bit more subdued this early in the spring. Check out our Primošten video or our blog article for a closer look at Primošten in the summer. We are just about to leave Primošten, which you can see behind me. Great town, great little mooring buoys that costs about €3 a meter, and it also includes access to showers and toilets. One of the best towns to visit if you're coming through Croatia, absolutely stunning. Now we're gonna head to the Wall of Ostrica, definitely butchering that.
Sailing north away from Primošten along the coast. We've got nice wind, like 10 knots, 12 knots, coming straight over our side.
Perfect day, no clouds in the sky, beautiful sun.
We're making pretty good time, like 4 knots. So yeah, you don't get a day like this all the time, but when you do, especially if it's on a Sunday, definitely worth the wait.
The goose is out. I don't call it a goose wing.
Because it looks like a bit like a goose wing, I guess.
The wind is barely blowing and we're probably going a knot and a half. We have no place to be, we're in no time rush, so it's nice. Where are we going?
I don't know what it's called. There's a wall.
Wall of Ostrica.
Wall of Ostrica.
The wall is impressive, and finding spots like this is so much more rewarding than the castles and forts of famous towns like Dubrovnik, crawling with other tourists. We head back to the boat to take in the sunset and reflect on the perfect week of sailing.
Last week we were complaining about the weather in April, how cold it was, the wind that came out of nowhere, the storms that we copped. Very different story this week.
And we've had really quite a lovely day. We've had no sun. We've had no clouds.
But sun.
We've had only sun, no clouds, and a gentle breeze that pushed us all the way here. Since the beginning of May, the weather's just done a complete 180, where we've had sunny days, nice gentle breezes. That being said, we did have a thunderstorm that kept us in the marina for 2 days, with winds gusting above 30.
Yeah, it's definitely not fully stabilised. The other thing that's changing is there's more boats around. Right now,
Probably 8 or 9 right here with us today.
But not enough that it's starting to crowd anchorages or become a pain in the butt getting in and out of marinas. So I feel like we're coming into that sweet spot in the season where you get the nice balance of not too many boats on the water, but the weather really starting to turn it on.
And it's just going to continue to get better. The temperature here is going to start increasing rapidly. We currently aren't brave enough right now to get into the water.
But there are plenty of people jumping in off the back of their boats.
Yeah, I think we're the exception to the rule at the moment.
By the end of June, it's going to be so crowded in the anchorages and the marinas that it definitely, at least for us, takes a little bit of a shine off the sailing experience. And we're really hopeful that we get a week as good as this next week.
So best time to sail in
Best
Croatia?
time to sail? Late May, early June. You heard it here.
First.
Probably last.